and we have now landfall. As of 8:30 p.m., 8:31 p.m., Category 3 hurricane near Siesta Key. This is a pressure of 954 millibars. So as of right now, you can watch me update this live on TV. So we have a landfall now. Hurricane Milton has made landfall with winds of 120, sustained winds. There you see 120, the pressure 954 millibars, the forward speed 15 millibars, and the official location was 5 miles west of Siesta Key. So that is as of 8:31, the Hurricane Center. So 1 minute ago, the Hurricane Center has now officially stated that we have a landfall, and you get the luxury of seeing me type that out live on TV. So there you go. So as of 8:31 p.m., sustained winds 120, pressure 954, the forward speed at 15 miles an hour, and this landfell as a Category 3 hurricane. Remember, Category 3 is 115 plus, so a middle-of-the-road major hurricane, Category 3, 8:31 p.m., again, 954, the central pressure. Forward speed, not Ian level slow, but not Charlie level fast, kind of somewhere in the middle. Charlie, when it came across Central Florida and Orlando, ended up being about 25 miles an hour. This is 15. Ian at one point was 7, 6, 8 miles an hour. So this is about twice as fast as Ian, but about half as fast as Charlie, if that gives you some perspective. And again, 5 miles west of Siesta Key. So that's the latest now, Manny. We have a major hurricane landfall, and now the attention will turn towards the impact here in Central Florida, which will be major flooding and major wind. I do think the wind is going to be more than many people may think, even here in Orlando, overnight into tomorrow morning. We'll toss it back to you, Manny.
All right, thank you, Noah. That breaking news just right now, and Hurricane Milton is over Florida. Fox Weather's Brandy Campbell is live in Fort Myers. Brandy, what are you seeing right now?
Well, Manny, right now in Fort Myers is mostly a wind event. It's not too hectic at this time. I mean, just looking behind me, you can see the trees are kind of calm at this point. So it's on and off. But what we cannot see is what's happening along the waterways. We actually retreated to our hotel to make sure that we were safe, as everyone else in the area should be doing as well. But we were not too long ago, about an hour and a half ago, near the Caloosahatchee River, where we could see the storm surge coming onto land. So those waves just slowly making their way on. We know along the river, the wave heights or the storm surge could go up to 6 feet. But if you are on Fort Myers Beach, that could be up to 12 feet. And again, we know we just had landfall, and Governor Ron DeSantis, he did tweet out or post onto X that as soon as first responders, well, he was just basically saying first responders, they're staged and they are ready to go. And as soon as the weather conditions allow, the search and rescue teams, they will be on their way to help people and save lives where needed. So we know it's kind of a waiting game to see where people need the help at this time. So hopefully everyone's in shelter. We know earlier today over 6,000 people took shelter here in Lee County. We also have just over 500,000 outages here. Thankfully, where we are, we still have power, especially given the winds that do get pretty strong at some point in time. But again, it's a wind and it's a storm surge event for us here. So, and on top of that, we're part of that tornado impact as well. And there we go. We have a gust right there. But here in Fort Myers earlier, we did have some tornadoes on the ground, ripping off some roofs, unfortunately displacing people right before the storm has hit. Manny?
Brandy Campbell live for us in Fort Myers. Brandy, thank you. Caught on camera the moment a massive tree branch snaps and lands right on top of a car. It happened in DeLand, and this is the view from a DeLand officer's dash camera. Oh my gosh. Thankfully, we're told the driver is okay. Their car, however, a different story. There you see the massive dent in the windshield. Unbelievable. Another story here, keep in mind, DeLand has a curfew that's now in effect. This was from earlier today. This was before sundown. The curfew started at 8 o'clock tonight and lasts through the night. So we are going to go back now to meteorologist Noah Berggren. Landfall, Noah, that's the big story this 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Manny. And I've got an interesting nugget of information for you here, as this now is just the 6th season. Let me pull this up here. in the state of Florida, this is just the 6th season on record: 1871, 1886, 1964, 2004, Charlie, Gene Francis, 2005, and now 2024, with 3 landfalling hurricanes. So we've had Debbie, Helene, and now Milton. So pretty rare territory as of 8:31 p.m. tonight. This is now just the 6th hurricane season with 3 hits of a hurricane status to the state of Florida. 120 sustained, 954 millibars, 15 miles an hour the forward speed, and the official landfall point was 5 miles west of Siesta Key. All right, so let me give you a little bit of a status report here, because we've talked a lot about tornadoes and this, that, and the other tonight. So where do we go from here? Well, now that we've made landfall, let's turn our attention to us, because look, we were on for hours earlier with the tornadoes, but the storm impact here hasn't even started yet. For Orlando area, Central Florida, Volusia, anywhere, if you're listening to this and you're in Central Florida, our storm hasn't really even started yet. That's not till maybe midnight or so, like the peak stuff. The storm now starts to merge with the jet stream. From there, the center is going to track towards Brevard County by dawn. The consensus of the modeling and our thinking is that the center will end up at about Cape Canaveral mid-morning tomorrow. The eye will track across Osceola County to Brevard County, and I cannot say this enough, the winds on the back side of the storm, so remember there's south to north ahead of it, then north to south behind it, the winds will be strongest on the backside of this for Central Florida. As of the 8:30 advisory, 120 sustained, east-northeast 15, and notice the left side is starting to erode away. That's because, again, it is starting to merge with the jet stream. Here's the high-res infrared imagery with all the warnings today. Just a prolific day of tornadoes, almost 140 tornado warnings, and unfortunately, a day that turned deadly in southeast, south central Florida in a retirement community. Let me pull that back up and read you that, because I just saw another flash of info come by on that. I believe it was actually, there's now multiple reports of fatalities at the Spanish Lakes community of Fort Pierce, Florida, where mainly 55-plus communities are located, and that's some sad news to report there. And there were a lot of big tornadoes down there earlier today, but there now we go to the flash flood threat for Central Florida. So wind speeds, these are the sustained winds. Already tropical storm force sustained winds, 32 New Smyrna, 17 Titusville, 19 Cocoa Beach. Look, my advice to you, by the way, we've repeated a lot and we've talked a lot about this, that, and the other. Charge your phone right now. If you haven't done so and you're sitting at home and you've been watching us, go plug your phone in, as I think a lot of you are going to lose power starting in a few hours. So if your phone is not on or close to 100% and you're sitting on the couch or you're in your office or wherever, go plug your phone in, your laptop, your iPad, your devices. That's my advice to you there, because many of you are going to start to lose power in a couple of hours ahead. In fact, in Orlando already, a wind gust to 55. And this is interesting because the winds, again, are going to be strongest from the opposite direction overnight. 57 Bushnell, 50 Winter Haven, 59 in Leesburg, 43 Daytona Beach, 27 Cocoa Beach, 28 in Melbourne. So the arrival of the strongest wind in red about 10 p.m., so coming up in about an hour and a half. The strongest wind doesn't even start in the Orlando area till midnight. That's the central part of the I-4 corridor, Disney Springs, the theme parks. Then 2 o'clock in the morning on the I-95 corridor from Palm Coast down towards Brevard County. So we've updated this. A couple of changes to the peak wind gusts overnight. Number one, we've trimmed both the red, moved it south here and moved it north here, just because the corridor of intense winds is going to be narrower, but it's still going to be focused right over the heavily populated areas of the I-4 corridor. So first up here, Gainesville, folks, Ocala, 50, 60, 70 gusts. Seem fair. Between, really, it's midnight, 1 in the morning to 8, 9, 10, 11 in the morning tomorrow. Really, this will be later in the night. But for the I-4 corridor, Disney, Clearmont, Altamont, Winter Park, Sanford, DeLand, Lake Mary, Titusville, Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Osceola County, I feel confident that the peak gust in most spots will be 75 to 100 miles an hour in red. So hurricane force. And the models have really done a good job picking up on this jet that's going to come in behind, and I'll show you that in a second. Then notice this little sliver over here we've added for coastal Flagler and Volusia County. There's a limited window tomorrow midday that as the winds scream around the back side of the low could briefly get a little bit more intense right on the beaches there tomorrow. So the latest with the forecast track, again, I don't know if you're wondering about will we see the sun in the eye tomorrow, I don't know if it'll be still clear enough for to see the sunshine poking through the eye. There might be a lot of clouds in it, so it's not like this is a major 4 coming over Cape Canaveral. It's not like you'll look up and see total blue sky, but you'll notice it'll get much calmer where the center is. The center tracks through the southeast part of Orange County, then over Cape Canaveral, then from there merges with the jet stream and again goes out towards Bermuda as we go towards later this week. There's the view from Daytona Beach where it is rocking and rolling right now. And you can see that clearly. The winds, again, are just getting started. They haven't really got close to their peak yet. We're still only at 30, 40 mile an hour. We'll be about double this, maybe slightly more than that later tonight. There's the iDrive camera. So here's the hour-by-hour forecast. We'll pick it up at 10:30. So there's a little bit of a break in the rain now. The rain will start to pick up again by midnight. Notice these are isobars. Here comes the center of the low. Now, north of the low, right here, that's where there's going to be some very intense rain and wind at 12:30 from Apopka to Orlando to Clearmont to Disney, Dade City. And it's this band here. Here's the low right over Lakeland at 2 in the morning. It's right in here where, trust me, you're going to hear it outside your house. It's going to really get windy first from the northeast. Then once the center goes east, the winds will switch to the northwest as it goes by. But it's this corridor here where it is just going to rain to beat the band as we've got a cold front merging with this and the jet stream. It is going to rain at an extreme rate from Deltona, the I-4 corridor, Orlando. Notice here's the center of the eye, 5 o'clock in the morning. Center goes towards Titusville, Cocoa Beach. So the rain really goes to about 4 or 5 in the morning, but the wind on the backside really cranks up. For coastal Flagler, Volusia counties, that storm surge is still 2 to 5 feet, and that'll be late tomorrow morning into the afternoon. Here's noon tomorrow. The hurricane force gusts are done probably by 11. Then through the afternoon, still windy with showers, but certainly the afternoon tomorrow is improvement versus the morning. About that rain total, this is our brand new model that just came out, and it clearly shows you the idea. We've talked about this at great length. Ocala, Gainesville, folks, you may not see a ton more rain, but look at this swath here. Again, this is an I-4 storm from this point out. I can't repeat it clear enough. I-4 corridor is going to get hit with a lot of rain, a lot of flooding, and a lot of wind north of that center track. And let me zoom it in and show you our model. I'll query some of those rain totals for you. Now look, this 18 here could be over the downtown area for all that I know. This is a model, it's not gospel. Just take the idea. A large swath of 6 to 12 inches of rain, additional on top of what's falling. This model just computed, and it starts at 9 p.m. So on top of what's already fallen, not including the rain that's already out there, which in some spots is 2-3 inches, 9 in Altamont, 7.5 in Ocoee, 8 in Disney. But notice there could be a pocket or two somewhere of 15 or 18 inches of rain, and the big flooding threat is a concern for tomorrow. So let me show you the wind gusts. I believe this just updated, and this will be the last thing I show you here. So here's 3:30 in the morning. Notice here comes that low. Let me do this a little slower here. Sorry, I didn't put a pause in there. I want you to be able to see as this comes on by. So here we go. Here's the wind. Now notice there's the center. You see the little hole there. Now notice at 4:30 in the morning, it's south to north wind here, but north to south here. As this merges with the jet stream over here, notice how much brighter the colors are in this corridor this way than the wind is over here. So a very strong on the backside. You'll hear it on your house, and it'll be notably more than the forward side of the center from the opposite direction. This is 4:30 in the morning, and you can see the winds there. 83 in Clearmont, 77 in Leesburg, then 84 DeLands, and then now we go to Sanford, Lake Mary. 75 in Sanford, 74 in Orlando, 75 in Kissimmee as this comes on by. 82 in Sanford, 84 in DeLand, 90 in Daytona Beach. This is 6:30 in the morning tomorrow. Notice there's the low. There goes the wind pushing in from the side on the back. 88 maybe even, 94 New Smyrna Beach. This is 8:30 in the morning tomorrow. This is that little sting jet is the term in meteorology, how the wind increases on the backside as the atmosphere in the storm collapses. It pulls all the air down from the atmosphere and it rushes in behind the low as it moves away. Then notice afternoon tomorrow, things will subside. But really, for the next few hours, it's going to be the rain picks up, the wind picks up, and somewhere tomorrow there's going to be some very bad flooding across central Florida. But you can see, here's the view from the Daytona Beach right now, and you can see it is blowing pretty good. So that's the latest. Hopefully you got the idea with the slow walkthrough of the hour-by-hour forecast. There could be a tornado in the middle of the night. We'll be watching things. Obviously, we're going to be here. But the main tornado threat has pretty much ended at this point, Manny.
No, I do have a couple of questions for you because you mentioned the rain is going to be picking up, but even here in our studios in Lake Mary all afternoon long, we've heard the rain in pockets, as you've been saying. Is that going to continue all night, or will it be consistent?
There'll be maybe like a 4 to 5 hour window where it does get consistent. And I don't know if you remember that from the see, I'll pull it back up. The hour-by-hour forecast, we had that. So right now it's kind of patchy, but notice 1:30 in the morning, as the eye comes in, it's this band here, right here. There's the center of the hurricane, at this point still a hurricane. It's this band here, Manny. See this on the north side, where once it starts raining, it won't stop. It'll just be a constant all-out tropical downpour, not a burst here, a stop, burst, stop. So when this comes through at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, it'll just be constant downpour.